Your phone lights up while you're standing in the kitchen late at night. A small banner slides down the screen, clean and polite, already decided. Your subscription has been renewed. You don't remember choosing today. You don't remember choosing at all. The room is still. The refrigerator hums. The floor is cold under your feet. Your thumb pauses, then locks the screen, because nothing feels urgent enough to interrupt the moment. The charge is small, familiar. It blends easily into everything else you paid last month. You tell yourself you'll look later. You always tell yourself that. You used the service once, maybe twice. It helped you briefly, which makes the charge feel harmless. Minutes pass. The notification disappears. The night continues exactly as it was. By morning, the decision has already been made for you. Not through choice, through silence. And money leaves your account without ever asking for your attention. A few days later, you scroll through your bank statement. Not carefully, just enough to make sure nothing looks wrong. Coffee, groceries, gas. Then a name you barely recognize. Your eyes narrow. Your thumb scrolls back up, then down again. The charge is there, sitting quietly between things you remember buying. You tap the line. Last month, it's there too. Your hand tightens slightly around the phone as you try to remember when you signed up. It was late, or busy, or during a free trial you meant to cancel. You didn't. As you keep scrolling, another unfamiliar charge appears. Then another. Each one is small enough to ignore on its own. Together, they feel heavier than you expected. You think about the time it would take to log in, the effort to reset passwords, the hunt for the right menu. Your thumb stops moving. You close the app. Nothing feels broken. Nothing feels urgent enough to fix. And that's when the pattern becomes clear. The money isn't leaving loudly, it's leaving consistently. Later, you sit down with a laptop, telling yourself you'll finally clean things up. The screen glows against your face. Your shoulders tense as the browser opens. You log into one account. The page loads smoothly, friendly colors, a dashboard that feels welcoming. Your eyes scan for the word you came for. It isn't there. You click a menu, then another. Each page takes just long enough to load that you feel the time slipping. Your fingers rest on the trackpad. You notice how still your hand becomes while you search. At last, you find it, smaller than the other buttons, tucked lower on the page. A warning appears. Access will end immediately. You pause. You remember how fast it was to sign up. One tap, one confirmation, done in seconds. This feels slower, not difficult, just tiring. You think about something else you still need to do tonight. You tell yourself you'll come back when you have more energy. The tab closes with a soft click. The room goes quiet again. Nothing chases you, nothing reminds you. The account stays open, the charge stays scheduled, and without resistance, the default continues. You start noticing it in other places once you've seen it once. On your television, an app you haven't opened in weeks still waits on the home screen. Your phone buzzes while you're walking outside. Another renewal confirmation, another month. Your eyes flick to it, then away. The cold air tightens your chest as you keep moving. It happens with music you rarely play now, with storage you meant to clean out, with tools you needed once for a single task. Each one promised ease. Each one quietly assumed you would continue. You don't feel tricked, you feel worn down. The effort to stop feels larger than the cost to continue, so you let it ride. Across different screens, different moments, different parts of your day, the same motion repeats. A notification appears. Your attention touches it briefly, then slides away. Money moves forward on schedule. Your focus moves on to something else. By the time you remember again, the window has already passed. Another cycle has completed itself without you noticing. Over time, the charges stop standing out entirely. They don't arrive together. They don't announce themselves. They spread quietly, slipping between things you remember paying for. You notice it when you hesitate before buying something small. Your eyes linger on a price longer than they used to. Your jaw tightens slightly as you close the tab without deciding. Nothing dramatic happened. No single charge caused this feeling. But the background feels heavier now, like weight you didn't notice being added. You tell yourself money is just tighter lately, that prices are higher everywhere, that you should be more careful. Meanwhile, the quiet charges remain untouched, protected by familiarity, protected by time. One evening, you think about canceling again. Your body sinks deeper into the couch. The room feels still. Your phone rests heavy in your hand. You imagine the steps. Logging in. Finding the right screen. Confirming the choice. It isn't difficult. It just asks for energy you don't have in that moment. So you wait. Days pass without you marking them. Then weeks. The charges continue with perfect consistency. They don't depend on your mood. They don't slow down when you're busy. They don't stop unless something interrupts them. And because nothing ever feels urgent enough, the system never needs to push. It only needs to last longer than your attention does. Eventually, this stops feeling like a problem at all. It starts to feel normal. Subscriptions become part of the background. You expect them. You account for them without thinking. When a new one appears, your shoulders barely move. You assume it's just the cost of access. Your attention shifts to louder expenses. Bills that demand action. Deadlines that can't be ignored. These charges survive because they never compete for urgency. They stay quiet. They sit below the surface of your awareness, where habits form and questions fade. You stop asking what you still use. You stop noticing what you forgot you signed up for. The longer something stays, the more permanent it feels. Not because it matters, because it's familiar. Removing it starts to feel like effort. Keeping it feels like doing nothing, and doing nothing always feels easier. So the defaults remain untouched. Month after month, the list stays the same. What once felt temporary now feels built in. Not chosen, just accepted. At some point, the thought arrives quietly. Not as a shock, but as a settling. This isn't about forgetting once or twice. It isn't about being careless. It's about what keeps going when you don't. You notice how nothing ever asked you to stay. How nothing checked whether you still cared. The decision happened only once, long ago. After that, time took over. You feel it in the faint tension behind your eyes as you think back. In the pause of your fingers when you open another statement. The belief shifts without drama. You stop seeing these charges as choices you keep making. They are momentum. They continue because stopping them requires presence, and presence is always in short supply. That recognition lands heavier than the money itself, because it explains why this never felt loud enough to notice. The loss wasn't hidden, it was patient. Nothing breaks, nothing alerts you. The charges keep renewing on schedule. Calm, reliable, uninterrupted. They don't demand your attention. They wait for its absence. Month after month, money moves forward by default, while your focus moves on to something else. That quiet continuation has a name: subscription inertia.